Hello. I'm really not sure how to start this video, so I'm just going to dive in, I guess. This is primarily a message for my subscribers, my loyal followers. Thank you for being here and for supporting me. If this is the first video of mine that you have stumbled across, you're welcome to stay, but this might not make a lot of sense if you don't know me. I have decided that it is appropriate to have a frank conversation about my channel, the future of my work going forward, and my mental state at the moment, which informs the future of my channel. It has been a rough week. If you know me at all, and or if you follow politics and the news, you probably already know what my mental state is, and if not, that's okay. I will endeavor to explain. A week ago, the United States had a presidential election, and since the results were announced, I have sunk into a deep depression. And I am actively working on clawing my way back out. But that is where I am. And I think it is healthy to be honest about that. I do not have it in me to put on a show and be my usual chipper self for the benefit of the camera. So I'm not going to do that. So I will just tell you straight up that I do not want to sew right now. I don't have it in me to work on any of the projects that I have been very steadily working on all year. I don't currently know if I still even want to meet my goal of sewing 24 vintage items before the end of the year, because I don't know if I still want to dress vintage next year as I had planned. And obviously, I've been dedicating my channel and all of my free time and all of my free energy towards this goal. So if I'm not going to do that, what is my channel about? Do I even continue? These are the questions I've been wrestling with. And it feels very frivolous to say, because there are much bigger concerns in the world right now. But I feel that I owe my audience at least that much. I feel that I owe you an explanation and to not just disappear, never post again. That feels wrong. Because I do appreciate you. I'm glad you're here. And I'm glad that you have enjoyed my sewing content thus far. And I appreciate all your likes and comments and silent support. And I feel that you deserve to know where I'm at. Now, why don't I feel like sewing? That's a little complicated, and I will do my best to answer. Partly it is, I think, just plain depression and loss of interest in the things that normally bring me joy. As you can see, I am also not wearing makeup. I didn't do anything special with my hair, and I'm not wearing any of my handmade clothes. I have not felt up to doing any of those things since the election. Those are things that normally do bring me a lot of joy. But they don't right now. And I think that this is just my process of mourning. I am in mourning. I am grieving the country that I thought I had, the country that I love, country I was taught to believe in, and the country that I have come to realize does not, in fact, exist. And if you want to tell me in the comments that I'm overreacting, please don't. My grief is real, and You cannot take it away from me. And while I am in mourning, I do not feel that I can carry on as I have been. And a big part of that is the sewing. It feels very strange to not want to sew. I'm still getting used to that. It's a very bizarre feeling, and I also have a lot more time on my hands because I'm not using all of my free time to sew, to make things. I'm obviously still making things. And I'll talk a little bit more about this in a little bit, because the creative energy hasn't really gone away. The need to create is still there. It's hardwired into my brain, I believe. And as my husband pointed out, the act of creating is good for my mental health. I think it feeds my soul. I just can't sew right now. And for various reasons, I can't work on the things that I've been working on. And I think there's two main reasons for that. One being, there's a sort of phenomenon that happens to me, and if it happens to you too, let me know, where if I'm working on something with my hands, especially hand sewing, and I'm also watching TV or a movie or a YouTube video, or even listening to music, listening to a podcast, and then I come back to that same project and work on it later, and I'm not still watching that same movie or TV show or whatever it is, when I pick up the project, I'm instantly transported back to the feeling of watching that show or movie or what have you. And I've always felt like I'm stitching my feelings into the garment. And right now, I am having a lot of negative feelings, and I don't want to sew those into my clothes, because I fear that if I do that, I will never want to wear them, because those feelings will stay with those clothes. I actually have a really good example of this. This is an outfit that I made in 2016 as a costume to dress up as a suffragist for the 2016 presidential election. I wanted to make a statement, and I wanted to symbolically, break down the patriarchy. I was excited to wear it. I was excited to vote for who I believed would be the first female president of the United States. I was happy. I was in the early stages of my first pregnancy, and I was having a lot of morning sickness, which made it very difficult to get out of bed for a good week or two at the end of October and beginning of November. So I did not finish this as quickly as I had planned. I think I had started working on it over the summer. And it wasn't so much that I waited till the last minute, it's that I was physically not able to work on it during the time I had allotted to finish it. So it's not finished. This little bag that just fell off the hanger has velvet cuffs and also a watch pocket welt. I guess I was going to put a watch pocket in this that I never got around to putting in. It doesn't even have fastenings. There's no buttons or buttonholes. I don't even think the skirt has hooks on it. I think I just safety pinned myself into this because I ran out of time and I wanted to wear it to go vote, which I did. And at the time, I was very happy with this ensemble. I had worked really hard on it. I had done research. I had done the fabric shopping months before, and I had planned to eventually finish it and to wear it again for other events because I really liked it. And then the results of the 2016 presidential election honestly blindsided me. And that also threw me into a deep depression. And here we are again. So that outfit has been hanging in my closet for the last 8 years. Untouched, unfinished, unworn. For a long time, it was painful to just look at it because it holds all the memories of how happy I was, how excited I was, and then how devastated I was. And I don't want that to happen to the clothes that I have been planning and dreaming of, the clothes that I had intended to wear in my daily life. It's one thing to have a costume that I made for a specific point in time and had no planned, events to wear it for in the future. But it's another thing to make a bunch of outfits for daily use that I can suddenly no longer wear. That is a very frightening prospect for me. So I want to avoid that. So that's reason number one. I don't want to make clothes that I will not want to wear because of negative feelings attached to them. And the other reason is that with my mental state being what it is right now, I do not feel like I would get good results from sewing at this stage. So I'm crocheting instead. And for a number of reasons, this feels better. I think the main thing is that if I make a mistake in a crochet project at any point, even if I chained the wrong number of stitches at the very beginning, and I find that mistake later on, I am perfectly comfortable ripping it all apart, turning it back to yarn, and starting over. Because it just goes back to yarn. I'm not losing anything. I didn't mess up so severely that I can't still make what I want to make. With sewing, it's different. As soon as I cut out a pattern, if I've made a mistake, I might not have enough fabric left to fix it, especially if I have to recut something. And if I am sewing and I make a mistake, if I sew something inside out or stitch the wrong two pieces together and have to then take it apart and redo it, even if it's a fixable mistake, I always feel like my time was wasted. And there's also a small amount, but still an amount of thread that will go to waste because I have to seam rip and cut up those stitches so that I can take them out more easily. So that's thread wasted. If I completely take this entire thing back apart, it just becomes yarn again, and I can still use it an infinite number of times. And with crochet in particular, I also don't feel like my time is wasted because the act of crocheting itself is very therapeutic for me. So that time can't be wasted because it's feeding my soul. It's soothing my soul. With crochet, I don't need to have a finished product at the end for it to have been worth doing. So that's why I'm focusing on crochet right now. Once I realized that I was not able to sew, literally anytime I thought about sewing, my arms would feel heavy and unmovable, which is not a good state for creativity. So once I realized this was the case, I dug out a crochet hook and these two massive cones of yarn, which I believe there was a label in this one that said wool, but it's fallen out. I believe they are both wool. I have no idea where I got these. Somebody gave them to me. Destashing, I think, somebody else's stash. I think they came to me third hand. And I've had them for years with no idea of what I was going to do with them. And I don't really know what I'm doing with them now. I have an idea. But I just started crocheting. I just started making chains until I felt like that was enough. And then started doing double crochets on those chains because I like doing double crochets. That's a very natural rhythm for me to get into. And I'm just going without a plan. It's just vibes. And like I said, if I have a finished garment at the end of it, that's almost a bonus. I'm just here for the therapy. So right now I am taking it one day at a time. I am focusing each day on one thing that I can do to improve my mental health. I'm reading again. I picked up a book that I've read before, but it's been a while and I really enjoyed it the first time and I'm enjoying it again. It's been a long time since I've been able to really sink into a book because I have been spending all of my time and all of my energy on this YouTube channel and on my vintage wardrobe. I have not been allowing myself the extra time to work on really any of my other hobbies. Reading was a hobby of mine. Crochet was a hobby of mine. Baking was a hobby of mine. Being out in nature, these are all things that I've been saying no to, really for all of this year. I've been saying no to myself, to other things I've been wanting to do. So this past week, I have been saying yes again. I've been allowing myself to do the things that I have not been doing that do make me happy, that are just not sewing. So not the main thing this channel is about. And these are things I'm just doing for myself, so I'm not going to be filming them. I'm not going to be sharing them because it's about my mental health and that's what I need to focus on right now. And I'm going to take some time away from this channel. I'm going to give myself time to grieve, time to heal. And I'm sure I will come back. I don't know if it will be the same, but I will come back. And in the meantime, I do have a September vlog and the footage for at least 2 October sewing vlogs that I can finish. The September vlog is halfway edited, so I can probably finish that one fairly quickly and get it published for you. Unfortunately, editing is also one of the things that used to bring me a lot of joy. And I don't know, I haven't tried, but I suspect that trying to edit those videos from before the election, when I was happy and excited and looking forward to all of my projects, that might be really, really hard for me. And I don't know how long it will take me. I do promise to get them finished at some point. I just can't say when right now. I wish I had more for you. I truly do. I do have some garments that need to be repaired or altered, and I might work on those during this time. That might be the baby steps I need to get back into sewing, because I think that altering or repairing garments that have already been finished will not stitch my emotions into them as much as making a garment from scratch would, because these are garments that I have had already and worn multiple times, so they already have, I guess, a baseline of emotional energy. And I might make some videos about those repairs or alterations. I might also go through my backlog of videos that I have filmed. Some I've started editing and just never finished from before this year. I might finish some of those. We'll see. I can't say that I will have a regular upload schedule anytime soon, but it will be something. I hope you're doing all right. If you are here, especially if you've watched all the way to the end of this video, which is probably pretty boring and sad, I want you to know that I do appreciate you, and I hope to have more for you in the future. But like I said, I hope you are well. I hope you are also finding things every day to make you smile. Now, if you, like me, feel the need to do something about the election and about the rise of fascism in this country, that's not what this channel is going to be about. I'm not changing my content here to be about that. But my brother, who has his own YouTube channel where he is restoring our dad's antique car from the 70s, he has created a second channel called A Quiet Rage, where he is going to be organizing and doing something productive with our anger. And he is going to be researching and shouting out organizations that are in this fight and have been in this fight already. Organizations that we can donate time and money and energy to helping and supporting and being there for each other as a community. So if you want to check that out, I will link it up above and also down below in the description. And I intend to continue to look for ways to help and to fight for democracy. And I hope that you are in this fight with me. That's all I have for now, and I will see you the next time.